Hello, wonderful teachers, and welcome to this video on some eLC page examples. Now, we've heard over and over again that you guys want to see what other people are doing with their eLC pages. So we're going to go ahead and take the opportunity to guide you through some different things that people are doing with their pages. Now, in this example, what we're going to do is take a look at 1 week from several different classes. I have 5 on my list, just so that you can see some of the different ways that teachers are using the eLC. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get started. First off, let's visit one of our larger courses, American Humanities. Now, in this class, for those of you who aren't familiar with it, we have 3 courses in one eLC page. So this means that this is a pretty serious page with a lot going on. So for that reason, it's a good example of some of the things that we can do. So first off, if you ever wondered what other people put in that general area at the very top, as you can see, she has the title of the course, some kind of like a catchphrase for her course. We have a beautiful image up here of that kind of sets the mood. Actually, let me turn editing on so that way you can get a better feel for how things are broken up. I have the news forum, some other general information at the top, and then let's take a look at week 1. Now, as you can see, one of the first things that we have underneath the directions for students, so they always know what to do, is like a quick recap of what's going on in class, as well as an image that has to do with a book that they've been reading over the summer, The Magician's Nephew by C.S. Lewis. Now, because she has so much going on in her course, notice that she's used what we call labels. These are basically like text boxes that you can put wherever you want underneath a week. And she's used them to create basically breaking points to make it visually easier to see where your weekly assignment sheet is and where the different assignments are. After all, like I said, 3 classes in one, so that means that she has a lot going on. So to make it easier for things to stand out for students, she's broken it up like this. Obviously, this is something that you can do as well if you want to break things up in your classes. You can use labels. They're pretty awesome. Actually, let me show you this one real quick. Let me go to Edit Settings, so that way you can see it. And as you can see, after we get past the HTML, that's just all it looks like. It's just a normal little text box. And since we don't want to change it, I'll hit cancel because I don't think she'll be happy if I change it. All right, so going back down to where we were, some of the other things that you'll notice is that she has a lot of different assignments that are turned in on the eLC. We know that they are here because this little symbol basically means it's an assignment. It's a paper being handed in. And then we have a vocabulary quiz right here. She also has some different PDFs that she's uploaded for students, as well as pages. Now, pages aren't something that you necessarily use all of the time, but especially if you have a big class, or say that you have some information that you want to share with students, but you don't want to leave it here on this front page. What you can actually do is create what we call a page, and you can do that by, let me show you, add an activity or resource. Down here, we have a page, and it basically leaves you with a fresh, almost like doing your own little web page on the site. So it'll direct them to a whole different page that has just text content or image content on it. So for an example of this, let's go ahead and take a look at the life of C.S. Lewis. Now here you'll see that she has used information that somebody else wrote. She's included a picture of Lewis, and there's some text about him. There's a place where they can go read more information from this first author. There's an image of his home, which she added, his typewriter. God bless that typewriter. And in this, she also has some other information to help students get to the page if they're having trouble getting to the article that this came from. So this is just one of the many ways you can use this. Obviously, this is by no means a requirement, but if you do have additional information that you want students to be able to easily access, this is a great way to do it. So that's a look at one page. So let's go ahead and take a peek at another one. Now let's move from a history and English-based page over to a math one. Now the reason that I chose this one is because it shows a more minimalistic style to the approach to the eLC. Humanities there was a lot going on. In this one, it's a little bit more minimalist, but it still does an awesome job of getting the job done. So as you can see, again, we have a great image to start things off with to grab some visual interest, name of the course, how to reach the teacher, some things that she wants students to know as they go in. Oh, let's turn editing on again. Sorry about that. All kinds of other information that the teacher wanted to include. Notice that she actually has her course documents and things, has labels again in here to make it a little bit more visually interesting for students. Now here in week 4, as you'll notice, it may not necessarily have as many images going on. However, there's still a whole lot of stuff going on. We again have our weekly assignment sheet, but here you'll notice that a whole bunch of videos are being put into the page. This way, teachers are able to give information that students really need when they get home. After all, think about it. You come home from math and oh no, I forgot how to do the equation line. Oh gosh, what am I gonna do? Well, she already has a video right here so that students can click on it, see what they need to know, and be able to continue on with their work. Now, math teachers are currently in the process of making their own videos to better target their students. So we're about to see all kinds of awesome videos coming from our math teachers, and you'll be learning more about making videos for your classes as well here in the near future. Again, real minimalistic, keeps the page looking very clean. However, still tons of content to make it easy for students to get the information that they need. All right, next up, let's check out a science page. So here we have anatomy and physiology. Again, another great image to draw students' attention. The name of the course, the name of the teachers, like a little welcome message to say, hey, I'm excited to have you here. Next up, you'll see office hours, email address, ways to contact the teacher. It's very important to let students know when you plan on responding to emails. So feel free to let them know, I only answer between 7:30 and 5 on weekdays, so weekends and evenings, forget it. Again, you'll notice that we have here in week 2 a great image to get the week started off that's related to the topic that the students are learning about. And the other thing that I wanted to show you here is that this teacher, here, let me turn editing back on, because of course it's not on. There we go. This teacher actually uploaded slides from her class, her PowerPoint slides, onto a program called SlideShare. It's one of the many different programs that we use here, but you literally can upload your PowerPoint slides or other type of slides, and students can click back through them to see the different things that you talked about in class. So if you use PowerPoint in class, this is one of the many ways that you can actually make that available to your students after they've left class, or if they've missed class for some reason. Let's see. You'll also notice that she has a bunch of assignments. Again, we've got the hand holding the paper, which tells us it's an assignment. And these are all turned in online, so that means that she can just grade all of these assignments online. It doesn't have to do a whole lot of work offline. Let's see, you'll also notice that at the top of the page, and this is something that I can easily do for your class as well, she actually has an area, let me get to it, for module exams. So all of her exams throughout the school year are in one place. Now, from what I understand, the reason for doing this, and this is such a great idea, is so that students can use these to study up for midterms, finals, and other bigger exams. So once they take a test, you can open them when you're ready to, you can close them at a certain point whenever you're ready to, and later on, students are able to come back in and see their answers, so that way they can actually learn and use them basically like a study guide for the next big test. So yet another cool idea of what you can do. You can do this with any kind of assignment. Like in my English class, I have all of my writing assignments up at the top of the page. So that way, all I have to do is open them when I'm ready for students to get to them, and they are always there. So it's a cool idea. Works very well if you are planning on doing something along these lines. Now let's take a look at a course that is just history, straight up world history. Now in this one, you'll notice that instead of the more minimalistic approach, we have a whole bunch of images to keep the page interesting. As you'll notice, she also has some different RSS feeds, which I can help you learn how to do. Really cool thing that you can add in. Again, when she responds to emails, her email address, some other things, a little welcome message for students, where the course overview and everything is. And let's take a look at week 3. As you can see, she's very image heavy here. So we have a video here. And remember, we can add videos just by using HTML. If you want more information about that, we have a video to explain that. Video about doing videos. Yeah. Anyways, you'll also notice that she does something that we don't always see go on, which is really cool, and that is if you've taken a look at quizzes yet, you'll notice that there's that area that says description, and if you've seen or learned about them before, you know that you can turn the description on so that they can students can see it from the main page. Well, this is what that would look like. So normally you would just have the name chapters 1 and 2, tests 1. However, in this case, you can see all of the information that she put in that description area. This way students know how much time they have, they know what kind of questions they're going to get, they know what terms they need to study, and actually let me go ahead and show you that area in the quiz itself. So as you can see, it's all right here in that description area. So that way students can easily see what's coming. Now, of course, that's not a requirement. However, if you do have a whole lot going on in a quiz, it's a great way, or in any assignment, it's a great way to make sure that students are on the same page as you. You'll notice that she has a bunch of different images that go along with what they're currently learning about, which appears to be Greece. And let's see, she also has instructions down here for how to do an upcoming assignment on a map of the area. So what to color them, how to label them, all of that kind of information here. And another video, I mean, all kinds of stuff going on here. So that way it's very visual and makes it very easy for students to be able to see what's going on and what they need to do. Last but not least, let's take a look at an elective. So in this case, again, teacher name, email address, office hours when she responds to emails, an image to kind of get everything going, some information to help students get started, and then as we scroll down, here's all the important documents and websites that they need to be able to get through throughout the school year. And then what I wanted to show you here is, again, we have image. She decided to put a verse here as well to complement it. And again, we have all kinds of assignments, so that way she can grade things online. And one other thing that she uses is a forum. So anytime that you want students to be able to discuss things outside of class, a forum is a great way to go. This way your introverts are able to more comfortably talk about their ideas. They don't get bowled over by everybody else necessarily if they're very quiet. You also have an opportunity to have deeper discussions that you can't have inside of classroom necessarily. It also keeps it from taking up classroom time and allows you to spend more time at home and use classroom time for other things that might be more suitable, especially since sometimes deep discussions just don't quite work in class as well. So one of the other things that you can do from forums is you can actually add grades that will go straight to the grade book. We'll talk more about that as we get into different kinds of assignments. But that is basically a brief overview of some of the different course pages that we've got here on the eLC and different ways that people are using it. So if you have any questions, or actually, why don't you go ahead, since you guys are in groups, and think about some of the different ways that you could use your page. Are you more of a minimalist, or do you like to have tons of images? What kind of style do you see yourself having? Do you want people to turn their work in online, or are you still a pen and paper kind of person, which is totally cool by me, by the way, just saying. So take a few minutes to talk, and we'll move on to the next station in just a few minutes.